And now, another informative video from the NASA archives.
From the Atlantic to the Red Sea, this area right here is under an extreme drought condition now, caused by lack of rain for the last 4 or 5 years, or a minimum of rain for the last 4 or 5 years. This is a six-nation area, and in that area, millions, several billions of people live. Now, from Skylab, we're not going to be able to make it rain. But we think from Skylab, we can look down with suitable sensors, photographs we actually did just a few moments ago, look down with these sensors and find areas that are not so affected by the drought, that might not be obvious to a man on the ground. We also think we'll be able to determine areas which have high probability of water tables not too distant below them. In other words, find spots that are good for possible digging of wells, for possible planting of crops where other spots nearby aren't so possible. We think this will be possible on a worldwide basis with equipment such as we're using in Skylab and with equipment such as we're using in our unmanned satellite Earth.
A highlight in the experimental tasks accomplished by the men was the initial test of the backpack maneuvering unit. Alan Bean made the first flight.
Switching to direct mode. He's backing off from the docking station. Rotating to his right, away from the TV camera. Okay. He wants to do it because that's the way he's done it before. He's got nice rotation going and a little translation. Right now he's shooting a little bit below the banjo. He's got about half of his rotation, about halfway there. He's going to be in attitude before he gets to the banjo, which is no problem at all. Now he's stabilizing attitude. His feet are just passing about 5 inches above the food lockers. Coming upwards to the banjo. His toes are about to touch the dome lockers. Toes on dome lockers. Owen Gary getting us all on television.
The backpack unit was designed to study the feasibility of such equipment for use outside a spacecraft on future missions. One of the more interesting experiments for the average person was submitted by a high school student. Can a spider spin a web in zero gravity?
Well, this is the home of Arabella. At least a corner of it in which she's decided to spin her web. I've got a close-up lens on here, so I can't show the full box that she's in. It's actually about 3 times the area shown in this view. And she selected this corner in which to spin the web that you see here. She's been spinning these webs now for a little over 2 weeks, almost every night. And I'm not really certain that she changes it every night, which is the usual pattern for webs for spiders on the ground, as I understand it.
Arabella succeeded in making a perfect web. Photographs of Arabella's web will be compared to webs produced by earthbound spiders. By the 40th day of the mission, routine medical checks indicated that the physical condition of the astronauts had stabilized. Erratic heartbeats and blood pressure had become normal, and weight losses changed to slow gains. The crew's physical improvement was at least partially due to a stepped-up program of exercises. But NASA doctors also suspect that the body may gradually adjust to weightlessness by itself. The mental attitude of the astronauts was good throughout the 59 days in space. Their appetite was very good. In fact, the crew consumed more food than was allotted for the second of 3 manned missions aboard Skylab. By mission's end, everything was working so well aboard Skylab that Commander Bean asked for a few days' extension to the flight. His request was denied by Mission Control, and the crew prepared to leave the orbital workshop. However, the success of the 59-day stay in space did prompt Mission Control to extend the third manned Skylab visit to an 85-day mission. The third crew was launched into Earth orbit in December 1973. As the second Skylab crew departed from the orbital workshop, they could look back with pride on their accomplishments. After a rough start with sickness and spacecraft problems, the second manned Skylab mission became one of the most successful scientific space endeavors. The crew had exceeded all scheduled requirements for the mission and accomplished nearly twice as much scientific work as planned. Skylab was fulfilling its objectives, providing reams of data and photos to answer many questions about the sun, the Earth, and of man's ability to live in space for extended periods of time.